silence can be more powerful than any shout. Chosen ones, listen closely, for the moments that truly define your path are rarely filled with noise. Words carry energy. They can build worlds or shatter them. They can reveal the truth or hide it deeper than eyes can see. Today, you will discover why restraint is not a sign of weakness, but a weapon of clarity and strength. Throughout history, the greatest warriors and sages understood this secret. The Shaolin monks, silent for hours in meditation, cultivated a power that few ever witnessed. Every word they spoke was measured, deliberate, aligned with the flow of life itself. And yet, the world rarely notices this hidden art, the mastery of choosing when to speak and when to hold sacred silence. In this video, you will learn how holding your tongue can sharpen perception, protect your inner energy, and reveal truths that remain invisible to the restless mind. You will uncover why premature words have toppled kings, ended alliances, and scattered the strongest intentions. The subtle power of silence has been whispered through the ages, yet few understand its depth. By the end, you will carry a new understanding of energy, timing, and self-mastery. You will begin to see the unseen threads connecting thought, speech, and action, and how choosing when not to speak can shape the outcomes of your life in ways you never expected. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the path of personal mastery. Subscribe now to walk this journey with us, to awaken the strength hidden in stillness, and to claim the quiet power that only the chosen ones can wield. The lesson begins now, if you are ready to truly listen. Every word you release carries the weight of your spirit. Chosen ones, consider this: a careless phrase, spoken in haste, can scatter your energy like wind through dry leaves. In Shaolin wisdom, the principle of Yi teaches that every expression must arise from deliberate intention. Words are not mere sounds. They are vessels of thought, emotion, and unseen energy. When a monk speaks, each syllable is measured, each pause considered. Yi, the alignment of intention with action, ensures that speech serves a purpose greater than vanity or impulse. The mind becomes a guardian, weighing the necessity of each word before it crosses the lips. Silence is not emptiness, it is preparation, a quiet chamber where clarity is forged. In daily life, many speak without understanding the consequences. Words uttered without mindfulness scatter qi, disturb focus, and weaken presence. The Shaolin master moves through the world like a river, flowing yet contained, every ripple intentional. In the same way, our speech must flow with precision, not as a flood that erodes understanding. Holding back words allows the mind to perceive hidden currents, to measure the right moment and the right purpose. It is in this stillness that clarity emerges. By aligning thought and intent, you do not merely speak, you shape reality. Each sentence becomes a tool, each phrase a brushstroke in the tapestry of your life. The practice of Yi trains patience, awareness, and subtlety. It teaches that the most powerful words are not the loudest, but those that carry the weight of thought, timing, and energy. Chosen ones, mastery of speech begins in the silence before the sound, in the quiet examination of purpose before expression. To speak with Yi is to act without wasting the energy of your spirit, to transform language into a reflection of inner mastery. True mastery begins in the quiet before any word is spoken. The ears, more than the mouth, are the gateways to understanding. In the Shaolin tradition, listening is not passive, it is an active cultivation of awareness, a discipline that shapes the mind as much as meditation shapes the spirit. Those who speak first often reveal more than they intend. Those who listen first perceive what is hidden beneath words and gestures. By observing the flow of events, the subtle shifts in energy, and the intentions behind others' actions, the chosen ones gain an advantage invisible to the untrained eye. Every sound, every pause, every unspoken tension carries meaning. Silence becomes a lens through which clarity emerges. It allows the mind to capture patterns, anticipate outcomes, and understand the rhythm of the world without interference. In ancient Shaolin teachings, a master would spend years learning to hear the unspoken, the rustle of a leaf, the shift of a body, the cadence of breath. Each detail contains wisdom if the mind is attuned. Listening, therefore, is not mere attention. It is alignment with the deeper currents that guide life. It is the art of perceiving what matters while discarding what distracts. When speech is restrained, insight grows. Thoughts settle, energy consolidates, and the mind becomes a clear mirror reflecting truth. Strength does not always announce itself with words or actions. It often whispers in observation, in patience, in the stillness that precedes motion. Those who master the art of listening move through the world with subtle power, understanding the terrain of life and the hearts of those around them. Through disciplined attention, silence transforms into a tool of wisdom. The chosen ones discover that the answers they seek often emerge not from speaking but from the patient, unwavering act of listening. In this way, the quiet becomes a fortress, and the mind, a sharp and vigilant weapon. Every action begins in the space between thought and movement. In the Shaolin way, mindfulness is the practice of inhabiting that space fully, of observing the mind before it reacts. The chosen ones learn that a single pause, however brief, can transform the course of a moment. It is in this pause that clarity arises, and the mind discovers the difference between impulse and intention. When the mind is trained to notice its own patterns, reactions lose their power to control us. Words, gestures, even subtle energies are chosen, not thrown into the world carelessly. This is not rigidity, but a refined freedom, a mastery of self that allows the spirit to act with precision. Mindfulness turns silence into a tool, a lens through which perception sharpens and understanding deepens. In the training halls of Shaolin, every movement is preceded by stillness. A master does not strike without awareness, nor speak without reflection. The same principle applies to life beyond the monastery walls. A restrained word can prevent conflict, preserve energy, and align outcomes with the greater purpose of the moment. Mindfulness teaches the mind to pause long enough to perceive consequences, long enough to act in harmony with truth rather than desire. Through disciplined attention, the chosen ones begin to sense subtleties that others overlook, the hidden tensions between people, the quiet signals of opportunity, the undercurrents that guide events. Each pause becomes a doorway, each moment of silence, a chance to measure energy and align intention. Over time, mindfulness transforms the way life is experienced. The world becomes a rhythm to observe, not a storm to react to. In this calm, the chosen ones discover that wisdom emerges not from constant action, but from the deliberate alignment of thought, energy, and word. Silence, guided by awareness, becomes a form of mastery itself, a power both subtle and profound. True strength is often found in stillness, in the moments when the world expects action and the chosen ones remain silent. Wu Wei, a principle woven into Shaolin practice from Taoist philosophy, teaches that the most profound mastery comes through effortless action or sometimes through deliberate non-action. It is not laziness nor passivity, but a deep understanding that the universe moves in patterns beyond the grasp of force. To act without unnecessary effort requires discipline. The mind must be trained to recognize when movement is needed and when restraint serves a greater purpose. Often the desire to speak or intervene arises from ego, impatience, or fear. Wu Wei invites the chosen ones to observe the currents of life, to sense where influence can be exerted naturally and where restraint allows situations to unfold with their own wisdom. History whispers countless lessons in subtlety. Great masters and warriors have waited in silence, letting moments pass, only to see circumstances resolve in ways far more complete than any hurried intervention could achieve. Words left unsaid, actions withheld, become instruments of power. In these intervals of stillness, clarity emerges, energies realign, and outcomes are shaped without conflict. Holding the tongue is a form of Wu Wei. Speaking with haste may disrupt the flow, while restraint channels energy into insight, timing, and presence. The chosen ones learn that sometimes the most decisive action is no action at all, listening, observing, and trusting the natural rhythm of life. Through Wu Wei, mastery becomes effortless. Silence, patience, and alignment with the natural order are not constraints, they are expressions of wisdom. In doing less, one achieves more. In holding back, one preserves the power to act at the perfect moment. Effortless action is not in the movement itself, but in the harmony between mind, energy, and the subtle currents of the world. Every word we speak carries more than meaning, it carries energy. In the Shaolin tradition, qi, the vital life force, flows not only through movement and breath, but also through speech. Each careless word, each impulsive phrase scatters this energy, leaving the mind restless and the spirit vulnerable. The chosen ones learn that restraint is not limitation, it is preservation. Silence becomes a vessel, a sacred space where qi can gather and strengthen. By holding the tongue, the practitioner ensures that energy is not dissipated on trivial matters or fleeting emotions. The mind remains focused, the spirit aligned, and the body poised to act with precision when the moment truly demands. Words spoken without purpose are like arrows shot into the wind. They rarely return and often leave behind unseen consequences. Ancient masters understood that speech is a bridge between intention and impact. When the bridge is crossed recklessly, energy leaks into the world unmeasured, and inner strength diminishes. Silence, by contrast, is both a shield and a tool. It guards the essence of qi while simultaneously enhancing perception and presence. The chosen ones learn to feel the flow of their own energy, to sense when speaking will harmonize with circumstance, and when holding back will protect and conserve their power. Through discipline, restraint becomes a form of inner mastery. Every moment of silence is a deliberate act of alignment, an investment in energy that can be called upon when it matters most. The world may demand noise, but the true warrior knows that power is quiet, patient, and contained. In preserving qi, the chosen ones gain clarity, strength, and resilience. Speech becomes intentional, energy becomes directed, and life itself flows with a rhythm shaped not by impulse but by conscious, disciplined harmony. Words can be sharper than any blade, and once released they cannot be recalled. In the Shaolin way, the chosen ones are taught that speaking without discernment can invite conflict, misunderstanding, or hidden hostility. A single misplaced phrase can alter relationships, disrupt harmony, or unravel careful plans. The mastery of speech lies not in eloquence, but in timing, restraint, and awareness of consequence. Strategic patience is a principle woven deep into Shaolin practice. A master observes the currents of tension before acting, sensing where influence can be applied and where silence is stronger than any argument. By withholding words, the chosen ones create space for clarity to emerge, allowing situations to unfold without unnecessary interference. In this space, misunderstandings reveal themselves, intentions become clearer, and the path forward becomes visible. History is filled with those who spoke too soon, leaders, warriors, and sages whose power was diminished by impulsive speech. The Shaolin teachings remind us that the world often rewards those who wait, who respond only when timing and alignment are certain. Silence is not surrender. It is a form of strength that shields energy, preserves dignity, and maintains focus. Through deliberate restraint, the mind cultivates discernment. The chosen ones learn to measure the weight of words against the chaos around them, to recognize when speaking would inflame rather than resolve. Silence becomes a protective layer, a boundary that preserves harmony in the face of uncertainty. By avoiding unnecessary conflict, the spirit remains centered and the body poised for action when the moment truly demands it. In a world that often rushes toward noise and reaction, the power of strategic patience stands apart. Silence is not absence, it is presence, vigilance, and wisdom manifest. It is the quiet armor that guards clarity, energy, and purpose. True strength is quiet. In the Shaolin tradition, humility is not a mask nor a concession, it is a reflection of inner mastery. The chosen ones learn that restraint in speech demonstrates control over ego and impulse. To hold back a word when the world demands noise is to command oneself rather than be commanded by circumstance. Humility allows the mind to observe without distortion, to listen without judgment, and to act without attachment to recognition. It is not weakness, it is discipline in its purest form, the subtle power that moves unseen yet shapes the outcome of every encounter. The chosen ones discover that the world often mistakes silence for passivity, yet it is within the stillness that the mind gathers strength, insight, and clarity. Self-mastery grows when action and speech align with purpose rather than desire. Every impulsive word carries fragments of ego, scattering energy and diminishing presence. By choosing to listen first, the chosen ones create space to understand, to perceive motivations, and to weigh the consequences of each expression. In this measured approach, speech becomes deliberate, precise, and potent. Ancient masters taught that the unguarded mouth often betrays the unguarded heart. The path of discipline is paved with quiet observation and patient restraint. Each moment of silence is a practice of humility, a rehearsal in the art of self-mastery. By holding words, one cultivates wisdom. By listening, one cultivates strength. By discerning before acting, one cultivates presence. In this way, humility and self-mastery are inseparable. They form the foundation upon which all higher understanding is built. The chosen ones grow not through volume or force, but through the quiet alignment of thought, energy, and intention. Mastery is revealed not in what is spoken, but in what is chosen to remain unsaid, in the disciplined restraint that allows inner power to flourish. There is a rhythm to life that few truly perceive, and within that rhythm lies the power of timing. Words spoken too soon, without reflection, can undo years of effort, reveal vulnerabilities, or scatter carefully cultivated energy. The chosen ones learn that the impact of speech is not measured by volume, but by its alignment with the moment. Timing transforms ordinary words into instruments of influence, and silence becomes the tool that shapes it. In the Shaolin tradition, patience is a cornerstone of mastery. A master observes the flow of events, the shifts in energy, and the intentions of others before choosing to speak. By waiting, the mind gains clarity, the spirit gains focus, and when words are finally released, they carry weight, precision, and resonance. Every pause becomes intentional, every moment of restraint a form of preparation. Ancient texts tell of warriors and sages whose victories were secured not by force, but by knowing when to act and when to remain still. Words, like arrows, are most effective when the trajectory aligns perfectly with the target. Speaking at the wrong time dissipates power, creating ripples of misunderstanding or conflict. Silence, on the other hand, sharpens perception and strengthens the effect of eventual expression. Through disciplined awareness, the chosen ones cultivate a sense of timing that transcends instinct. They learn to measure the currents of thought, emotion, and circumstance, recognizing when speech will amplify intention and when it will weaken it. In this careful balance, influence grows quietly, steadily, and powerfully. The mastery of timing transforms speech into more than communication. It becomes strategy, wisdom, and energy manifest. Silence nurtures patience. Patience cultivates timing, and timing amplifies the unseen influence of the chosen ones. In learning to wait, they discover that the right word at the right moment can shape reality itself. Before a word leaves the lips, the mind must first turn inward. Reflection is the foundation upon which all mastery is built. The chosen ones understand that speech without inner clarity is like a river without direction, chaotic, scattered, and easily dissipated. By pausing to examine thought, intention, and energy, the mind becomes a guide, shaping expression with purpose rather than impulse. Meditation has long been a path to this inner alignment. In the quiet of stillness, the currents of thought settle and the true voice of wisdom emerges. Journaling offers a similar clarity, capturing reflections and intentions on paper, giving form to what otherwise remains ephemeral. Even a brief period of quiet contemplation can create a space where the mind measures consequences, perceives subtle dynamics, and aligns intention with action. Through these practices, silence transforms from a mere absence of sound into a deliberate and empowering choice. It is no longer a constraint imposed by circumstance or fear, but a conscious tool of self-mastery. The chosen ones learn to sense when speaking will amplify their purpose and when restraint will preserve it. Each pause, each measured silence becomes a step toward harmony between mind, spirit, and the world. Ancient masters often emphasize that true power arises not from outward force, but from inner alignment. When energy, thought, and intention converge, words carry weight, impact, and clarity. Conversely, when they diverge, speech dissipates energy and diminishes influence. Reflection ensures that each expression is in harmony with inner truth and external circumstance. By cultivating moments of introspection, the chosen ones create a life of deliberate action and measured speech. Silence becomes a choice of wisdom, restraint becomes a tool of strength, and each word, spoken with alignment, becomes a manifestation of inner mastery. In this practice, the spirit learns patience, the mind gains clarity, and the path forward becomes illuminated by the quiet power of thoughtful intention. Silence is more than the absence of sound. It is the container of clarity, strength, and wisdom. By holding your tongue, you allow yourself to observe deeply, preserve your energy, and align every word with intention and purpose. The Shaolin teachings of Yi, mindfulness, Wu Wei, and energy mastery all guide the chosen ones toward one truth. Speak only when it serves your higher purpose. As you move through life, let this principle guide you. Pause before responding, listen more than you speak, and allow your actions and words to emerge from a place of calm awareness. In practicing restraint, you cultivate inner mastery, deepen your insight, and step fully into your own power. Carry this lesson with you each day. Notice how silence can protect, guide, and strengthen you. Let it become a tool, a shield, and a source of quiet confidence. In the stillness, you will find the path to wisdom and the power to act with precision. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this teaching meaningful, subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire to continue exploring ancient wisdom, self-mastery, and the quiet strength within. Step into silence, embrace your power, and let your presence speak louder than words.